He invented the opt-in squeeze page in 1997 for stopyourdivorce.com, which he's sold millions of dollars worth. And many marketers, I would say in the millions of people, have actually taken just that one model and probably many things that they didn't know that Dean invented and have utilized it. And he basically got his start in real estate as a real estate agent, and then now he's one of the top trainers in the world for that industry, teaching them very effective direct response marketing strategies. But beyond that, he just loves to live life, and he believes in pretty much sort of a hassle-free, low-resistance, friction-free lifestyle. And so give it up for my partner in crime, Mr. Dean Jackson.
Thanks, Sid.
Okay, here we go. No, don't stand up yet. You're taking away from my time. Okay, I'd like to reset the clock, please. I'm going to share with you the whole concept of this is ideas worth using, and specifically ideas that have been worth at least $250,000. And I want to share with you one question that if you take this question really seriously, it literally will change the way that you operate your business for the better. Here's the question right here. What would you do if you only got paid when your client gets a result? Now, just think about that question. I call it a clarifying question because what it really does is it helps you identify the critical things that are responsible for getting the result that you actually get. Even if you're not only getting paid for delivering a result right now, how many of you know that you absolutely are responsible for delivering a result, whether you have to deliver it in advance or not? This process, this clarifying question, the first time you ask it, and I started asking this question 5 years ago before I actually started doing anything about it, because at first, the clarifying question is more of a terrifying question. And I'm going to share with you some of the insights that I've had in applying this that have turned it into being more clarifying. Here's the good news. If you're going to only get paid for results, you have to deliver less results than you have to promise. And I'm talking about that in a way that when you start thinking about delivering a result before you get paid, before you actually get paid, you only have to deliver far less than what you have to promise somebody that you're going to be able to deliver after they downsize it to make the decision that they're going to take a chance on you and buy it in the first place. I'll give you an example. What we do now with one of the divisions of my company is a website called moneymakingwebsites.com, and we do the very best real estate websites in the world for real estate agents. And here's what we're able to do is you're able to sell something for 5 times more than what your competitors are charging for the same thing, and you only have to promise a less result. The way our offer works is, and it's come to this now, is that we give people the website. I take them through an entire training program for 90 days. I buy their domain name. I buy their GetResponse account. I take them through the training program. They pay no money out of pocket. They don't give me their credit card in advance. I take them through the 90-day program, and at the end, if they've done a transaction, they pay me $1,500 and then they pay $99 a month. It's an irresistible offer to people. There's no friction in getting people to engage in an offer like that. Now, what I have to promise, I'm only saying I only have to deliver one transaction because I'm responsible. I'm going to get paid. I'm going to show you that it does work. I'm going to show you how to get it done, and I'm going to help you get your first transaction, and then you're going to pay me the $1,500. Now, if I'm having to convince people to give me money in advance, I have to talk about the incredible results that the people before them are getting. I have to talk about people who get 80 times return on investment on the money that they spend on bringing traffic to their website. I have to show them a parade of people that have done that before them to convince them that that's the way that it could work out for them. But when you make that promise that you're going to only get paid on results, if you can do it once, that you've done your job. It's much easier to deliver that one result. It's less expensive to deliver the result than it is to convince people to give you money to deliver the result. Now, how many of you are familiar with a concept called cost of acquisition? How many of you have a budget for your cost of acquisition? Now, when I look at that when you're trying to convince people to give you money, that takes a process. It takes some sales effort. They have to talk to somebody. They have to do their due diligence. There's some time involved in that. And there's a cost of getting somebody to raise their hand and even have that conversation with you. You're generating leads and converting them into buyers. Now, when you're actually going through the process of delivering the result, I did the numbers and I looked at it, and it cost about a quarter of what it costs me to acquire a customer to actually deliver the result for them. And so when you look at that math for you, you might find that it's far less expensive for you to actually just go ahead and deliver the result for people than it is to get them. People are far less attached to future money than they are to present money. Now, that's something that I learned from Dan Sullivan, the whole concept of a bigger future. Now, winners are magnanimous. Winners are far more likely to be more generous with the money that you're hypothetically delivering to them in the future than they are giving you their limited supply of the money that they have right now. That money's already accounted for. That money's already spent. So when you're looking forward there, I'll tell you the very best thing, if you think about a never-ending coaching program, something that people would never leave, if I said to you, here's the way our coaching program works. On the first of the month, we're going to bill your credit card for $1,000, and then on the second of the month, we're going to deposit $2,000 into your bank account. How many of you would join that type of a coaching program? We don't have any calls. There's no member website. There's no discussion board. There's no monthly newsletter. There's no quarterly events. There's nothing like that. How many of you are still interested? Now, how many of you would be interested if I said to you, here's how our coaching program works. On the first of the month, I'm going to deposit $2,000 into your bank account, and on the second of the month, I'm going to take $1,000 from your credit card. How many of you would be interested in that arrangement? Can you see the difference in that? That's an irresistible offer. Here's my last insight. A compelling offer is 10 times more powerful than a convincing argument. And I'm going to let that sink in for a second, because there's a big distinction between compelling somebody to do something somebody is compelled to do, than something that they are convinced to do. If you've listened to the I Love Marketing podcast, one of the themes that we talk about is this idea that your prospects are like mice, and that mice come pre-programmed with two prime directives: to get cheese and avoid cats. You don't have to convince a mouse to go get the cheese. The mouse is compelled to go get the cheese. Your prospects are compelled to seek their self-interest. They're compelled to seek things that they want internally. Nothing that you can do to convince somebody is anywhere near as powerful as tapping into, like, the jet stream of what they're already compelled to do. Does that make sense? If you think about it in anything that you do, anything that you do, your selfish reason for doing it, even if, we've been talking about delivering a monetary result for somebody, which is crystal clear and easy to deliver. But I had this conversation with Yuri last week about diabetes. Somebody who has diabetes is compelled to seek to get rid of that. You don't have to convince them to want to get rid of it. If you've actually got the ability to do it for them, it's amazing if you can actually get that result for them in advance. So that's my 10-minute talk worth $250,000. What do you think, Papa?
I think Steve liked it.
Oh, good. Steve liked it.
That was awesome.
Thanks, man.
That was awesome.